I want for Mother's Day, I want a Fitbit.
Loud enough for the people in the back.
Oh no, he already knows what I want.
Oh, okay.
I want a Fitbit, like the one that connects to your phone. I think it's Fitbit Versa 2
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Nice. That's what me and Andy have.
Yeah.
And I found a discount for it, $50 off, so I can get it for $150 instead of $190. Well,
that's a good gift.
If I get it, then it's not a gift.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's true. If I buy it, it's not a gift.
Yeah.
And he was like, I've been wanting one.
Oh my god.
Okay, well, if you buy one for me for Mother's Day, I'll get you for Father's Day. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it sounds fair to me.
I do too. I think it's a fair deal.
What are you getting anything for your mom?
So whenever we do Mother's Day, when we celebrate Mother's Day, it's more of like Happy Mother's Day, here's a flower, and here's breakfast.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's good.
I've only ever gotten her like small gifts, like wind chimes or like brooches, because she loves collecting brooches.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah.
Does she actually wear them?
Yeah, she wears them.
Nice.
She wears them mostly for like special occasions like weddings and graduations, or sometimes she'll wear them to work, but most of the time like family gatherings or whatever, because she can show them off then.
Yeah, that's a cool thing to collect. I like it.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people, especially country people, like their grandmas had a lot of brooches, so then they do like a brooch bouquet for their wedding. It's really
and I've never heard of that before. That's interesting.
Yeah, they're really pretty.
I bet.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite one that she has?
I don't know.
Basically, which one are you inheriting?
Yeah.
I don't do brooches.
Yeah.
I don't like them. I have some. I don't like them. I think they're a pointless piece of accessory. Like, why?
Mm-hmm.
That's just my opinion. Like, I would rather have a necklace, some earrings, or a ring, or something for my hair. But more than likely, I would rather have a pair of earrings.
Yeah. Brooch is kind of like not to offend your mother, but an old lady thing.
I agree.
I feel like it's an old Southern thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely Southern for sure. That's what I feel.
Yeah, they're like the pearls.
Mm-hmm. I do love a set of pearls, though. Anything new, ladies?
I went to go see my mom on Saturday. I don't know if I told y'all.
You got to actually see her? Oh, that's good.
Yeah, since we both been quarantined for the same amount of time, she was like, you can come inside to go to the back porch. I was like, but if I go inside, I'm going to want to hug you. And I can't. Mm-hmm. So let me just go around the back. And she was like, she opened her arms. She was like, come here, mijita. And she gave me the biggest hug. I was like, oh. We both started crying.
Yeah.
It was happy. My dad, on the other hand, was like, nah, girl, I'm still working.
I'm still working.
Oh, okay, yeah.
All right. Well, we want to move into our episode then?
Let's do it.
Okay. So we're going... Oh, we forgot to say hola, gorditas.
Hola, bonitas.
Sup?
You just got to find your one. Like.
Yeah, no, I like changing it up. I don't want the same thing every day. It's more fun to surprise you guys. I'm Stephanie.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Anita. All right, so today's episode is going to be a first part of a two-parter, right?
Yes.
It's going to be first part of a two-part episode of Mother's Day, and we're going to just tell our birth stories, our stories of becoming mothers.
Aww.
Disclaimer, I am not a mother.
Yeah, I wish this could be a three-parter.
This is... Girl, nah. Yeah. I can talk about getting my puppies, but that's about as close as it's ever gonna get.
True.
So where did it all begin?
Around October 2018.
You sure?
Yeah, 2018.
You sure?
I think.
What year was your daughter born?
2019.
I thought you were gonna
July.
start your story with your love story,
Oh,
all
no.
romantical and shit.
I ain't get that shit. Mm-mm.
Aw.
Nah. No time for that. Anyway, so I was due in July. She was due to be out of me July 11th.
Wait, but first we should talk about how much you did not want a girl.
Okay, yeah.
No,
I did
first
not
let's
want a
talk about
girl
how
at
much you
all.
didn't want a baby.
Okay, yeah. I didn't want a baby. I didn't want to have kids. I never wanted to have kids. But I always did say, like, if it happened, and it's fine.
Yeah.
Like, I'm okay with it if it happens. And then whenever I did say, like, in my mind, if I ever did have a child, I want it to be a boy. Simply because I know how I treated my mom when I was a child.
Mm-hmm.
I know how horrible I was to her. Mama, I'm sorry. If I've never
okay,
said it
baby.
before, I'm sorry.
But you don't think boys do the same thing? I mean,
No, I've always been like mama's boy, you know, like they love
oh,
their
really?
moms and they're
Yeah.
like obsessed with their moms until they get like teenage
Oh,
years.
shoot.
Of course, their teenage years are like crazy.
Oh,
Also,
God.
anyway, I just thought like having a boy, they would like no matter what love their mom, you know, like that's what I always thought of. And I was like, I don't want, if I do have a kid, I don't want her to turn out like me, which is bad. Or at least I was like, at least I was a difficult teenager. I was a difficult teenager. I would say like difficult, but not like extremely difficult. Like I didn't get into bad, like I didn't get written up in high school until I was a senior. So I don't know if I was that bad.
I mean, but you can be difficult like towards your mom and still be like a good student and all that, right? Like
I mean, yeah. I was just really sassy and I
And
backtalked a lot, and I
eventually
remember
just spilled over to school.
Yeah. But eventually, I do remember this one Christmas, she was bitching about not getting some broccoli casserole, and I told
Oh
her
my God.
just because she wasn't there to get no broccoli casserole didn't mean she needed to make a show.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Mama
I
would
backtalked
slap
a
me
lot.
so hard.
Yeah.
Backhanded.
But see, I think that's just how our relationship was. Like, I would just say whatever was on my mind, and she would say what was on hers, and that was it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I didn't want a girl. And I was like so afraid it was gonna be a girl. I was gonna get so upset if it was a girl. In fact, I did get upset because when I found out it was a girl. But alas, she's a girl, and I love her.
Yeah.
Tell them how you found out she was a girl and the truth.
Okay, I'll tell you the truth.
You could tell them the lie first, but you gotta tell them the truth.
I'll tell you the truth. So we did a gender reveal, because I wanted to be surprised. But I guess I didn't want to be too surprised because
Oh no.
I found out the gender before I knew the gender, or I was supposed to know the gender, so I had to react like I didn't know the gender.
Oh man.
But I think I was kind of in denial about the gender because I was like, oh, they just put a different color in there just to get me, which I think is a smart idea. Like they should put a different color in there to throw people off.
Yeah.
So I got the card, and the card, I don't know why they thought it would be a good idea to make the freaking card the color of the gender. So I held it up to the light.
Oh, and you could see through it?
And it was pink. And I was like, damn, it's a girl. And then
she handed it to me and made me feel like
she was the keeper of the gender.
her. Bitch already knew.
Wow.
I did, but I was in denial.
Yeah.
So finally, after the party, by the way, my aunt is still confused about what the gender
wow.
is. My grandma, because there were so many different things. Like first there was the cake, which was marble, which was really good cake. And then there was this, the July baby
the
sign.
spray paint.
The spray paint. And then finally there was the bottle rockets, right? What are they called? The twist rockets?
Yeah,
Oh
the
yeah.
Yeah.
confetti things.
Confetti rocket, yeah.
Yeah.
That came out pink.
Yeah. I think Emery after that was like, I'm never going to Yonder reveal again. Because there were like so many twists and turns. He was like, I can't handle this.
I loved
Only
it.
if
I
you're
was
friends
like,
with me.
Yes, I loved it. Because I love the suspense. I was like, God,
But you already knew, so
I did know, but I wanted to, like, the gender reveal kind of confirmed that I already knew. So
yeah.
I didn't, like, get upset that I had revealed it to myself until the gender reveal, like, after everybody left. Then I was
Yeah.
like, damn, I'm having a girl.
Yeah.
And I was upset for a little while, but I wasn't, like, upset for a very long time.
Mhm.
And then we just started trying to figure out what names we were going to do and,
Mhm.
like, all that jazz.
Yeah.
And we decided Taleah Rose.
Taleah. Yeah. So pretty.
But let's talk about
My
how she almost fucked up whenever she was getting the stuff ready. She actually did fuck up. Let's talk about that stuff. Go ahead.
I slipped up and I said that and then I was like, I only said that because I really wanted to be a girl because I'm all about girl power.
She was
Aw.
putting the ultrasound picture in there and she was like, where's her head?
Oh. You can just say all babies are females.
I
you know,
did.
like
I
that's
was
how,
like, all
Yeah.
babies are females to me. What do you
And
mean?
I said, you said her. And she's like, what do you mean? I always use her, the feminine pronoun.
Yeah.
I was like, whatever, no, you don't. And then in my head, I'm like, but I do that all the time. Like,
You do.
I know. Okay, so then we had the parties, the baby shower parties. But every time I like made the registry, when I was making the registry, like I'm not a big pink person. Like, in fact, I
Yeah.
don't really wear pink.
Mhm.
My colors are very neutral
Mhm.
with a pop of color, I guess. My favorite color is green, and so whenever people were buying gifts for Taleah and like they were clothes and I got a lot of pink, I
Disappointed?
wasn't disappointed. I mean, I was a little disappointed that it was all pink, but I was not like super disappointed because they did buy her stuff and I was appreciative of it.
Yeah.
But I was like, you could have chose like, I don't know, yellow or green,
Yeah.
which she looks really good in yellow.
Mhm.
That's her color.
It's that tan skin.
Mm-hmm. But then throughout the pregnancy, I was just exhausted all the time, bloated all the time. That's what I felt like, bloated all the time. Just like I felt like towards the end, I felt like I had like a what do they call it when you got something in your throat you can't get out of? Like
A knot? No.
Not like the not whenever you're sleeping, but like it's in your throat and it's like kind of like food stuck in your throat. That's what I felt like all the time.
Mhm.
So I had read a whole bunch of things like of how to get her out of me. Like I was like, something is bound to work. Something is bound to work. But I was afraid to do the major ones, like not Cairo, but what's the mineral oil or whatever. It's like supposed to make you poop.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway,
castor
oil. Yeah, castor
Oh
oil.
yeah.
Castor
I
oil.
use that in my hair.
It's good for that. But it's also good if you need to take a dump.
I heard.
And apparently it's really good if you need to go into labor because your bowels are moving and it's pushing also. But anyway, I was afraid to do that because I didn't want it to happen.
Were you are you supposed to drink it?
Yeah, you drink it and then apparently a couple hours later it'll start. You'll start having contractions or whatever.
Mhm.
But I was afraid of that. So I just walked a lot.
Yeah.
And apparently walking doesn't help until you're in labor.
Yeah.
So I just didn't gain a whole bunch of weight. Like I literally only gained maybe, I want to say I gained 40 pounds total, and 25 of that was the placenta,
Yeah.
and 8 of it was to, or 13 was Taleah. So I only had a little bit to lose.
At what point, like what week were you just like, were you trying to do, like, was it like 32? Or are you just like
No,
done?
I was, but no, I had tried to stay active the whole pregnancy just because I knew that it would make an easier delivery. Even though I'm an obese woman, I knew that staying active, I'm an active obese woman in my opinion. Like, and I think you guys can attest to that.
Yeah.
No, I'm nodding for the active part.
Active part, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was. When you said active, I was like, hey, this bitch is more active than I am. That's for sure.
So I try to stay as active as possible so that the delivery would be easier. But it did not help with her coming any sooner because this girl wanted to set up satellite and everything. Because she was due on July 11th, but she didn't get here until July 13th.
Oh, yeah. She was late. Or, just 2 days. But
just 2 days.
How many weeks were you first, though, before?
I was 40 weeks and 1 day.
Oh.
Okay. I went into labor. 40 weeks and 1 day. And when I got to the doctor or the hospital, they asked me how many weeks I was. And I said, I'm 40 weeks and like 1.5 days. And they're like, the half doesn't count. I'm like, it does to me.
That's funny.
So they're like, okay, well, go ahead and walk around and we'll try to see if that helps induce, or like not induce, but break your water. But they had to eventually just break my water. And she had...
Was that the first thing they did?
No, I walked around for like an hour. The first thing, they checked me in, and I
just an hour?
Let me roll back.
Yeah.
So like at 4 a.m. I started feeling like I woke up and I was having pains. Like, and they felt like just massive cramps, like massive period cramps. And so like I was like, these must be contractions. So I started tracking them on my tracker, and they got closer and closer together. And I was like, okay, I think we're definitely gonna have a baby soon.
Yeah.
And so I told Yender, and he was like, what do we do?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I'll call my midwife and see what she says, and then we'll go from there. So my midwife was like, well, it's 6 a.m. so that means traffic's going to get bad soon. So you can either stay at home and labor at home for a little while, or you can come in and go ahead and come in and you can labor here. And I was like, I think I'd rather labor where I can get painkillers.
Yeah. How was the pain at that point? Like,
and
how far apart were they? Because
they were like, I think at that, well, by the time we left the house, they were about 4 minutes apart. But when I called, they were about 5 minutes apart.
Yeah.
So they were getting closer together, and like.
And how long were they lasting?
I don't remember.
Oh.
They would last for like a minute or two.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't last very long. They didn't last very long. So I had gone like right at the beginning. I was only like 2 centimeters dilated when I got there. So I was nothing. But they checked me in. They were like, we'll go ahead and check you in and see if we can move this along. We'll have you walk around for like an hour. So we walked around for an hour, and like walking around, I didn't have on, like, literally they make you strip down, right? And all you have is the robe they give you. Yes, Steph?
Justin, I'm really surprised that they only made you walk around for an hour. Like normally it's like it's just every half hour, 45 minutes or something, start walking again.
Yeah, so I was walking to the hospital and I started getting really sweaty, and when we got back, she was like, did your water break? And I was like, I don't know. It's really wet down there, so I guess so. Maybe so.
Yeah.
And I was like, but that might be sweat too.
Oh gosh.
And she was like, well, let's find out. And she was like, yep, that's definitely sweat.
Okay. That's so funny.
And I was like, okay.
Oh no.
I was like, damn.
You thought that was funny, Taleah?
Every time we laugh, she laughs.
For
Every time
those
we
who can't see us, Taleah has joined Mama.
What a kitty.
But
God,
then
she's looking so grown.
So then my midwife came in, and my midwife was like, we're going to go ahead and break your water and then start Pitocin to induce you to like speed up the process.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, whatever. She was like, because you're a day past your due date, we can go ahead and do that, because they would have let me go a week past my due date, but they were like, since you're already here, we're just going to keep you. And I was like, yeah, please do.
Yeah.
They let me make the choice. They
That-
gave me two options. They were like, you can go home and labor more, or you can stay here and we can start Pitocin. And so I was like, let's just get this shit on the road, because I'm ready for her to be out. And apparently she was too. She just didn't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
She needs a little coaxing. All right, so they started Pitocin and they broke my water, and she had taken a poop inside. She took her first poop in me. So, you shat me.
Yeah.
Shat
Quite
in me.
literally.
Yeah.
That sass on her face was like, girl, what you talking about?
Oh, she does. She give me looks for days now.
Oh, baby.
And yells too.
I heard.
So the water was green, and I tried the water broke or whatever. When she broke it, it was green. So I tried to like let everything work by itself, or the Pitocin I tried to like work through the pain without medicine for as long as I possibly could. Go ahead, ma'am.
What's Pitocin?
It helps induce you, so it kind of like helps start dilation and everything.
Oh, okay.
And the contractions. I've heard that the contractions are more intense when you have Pitocin.
Mm-hmm.
And they were quite intense after Pitocin started. Like before Pitocin, it was bearable. Like I could breathe through it.
Oh, God.
But once Pitocin started, it got
Yeah.
worse and worse. And eventually at 4 centimeters dilated, I couldn't breathe through it no more.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't. So I was like, I told my nurse, I looked at her name was Bethany, I think I wrote that down. Yeah, I think her name was Bethany. I looked at her and she said, whenever you're ready for your, medicine, or if you want medicine, just let me know. She was like, you're doing great. And she was like, you've made it to 4 centimeters. She was like, that's further than I ever made it in all 3 of my pregnancies.
Oh, wow.
I was like, okay, thank you for the encouragement.
Yeah.
But I told her, I was like, I don't care what drugs you give me, but I'm gonna need them.
Yeah.
And she was like, do you want something just to take the edge off of it, or do you want like the epidural? And she was like, you can do an epidural. And she was like, I recommend doing epidural at least before 6 centimeters.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, what's the other option? She was like, phentermine, I think that's what it was, phentermine. Anyway, which is like supposedly a really bad drug, but I got it twice.
Oh, wow. Why didn't you just go straight for the epidural?
So I didn't go straight to the epidural because I didn't want the epidural to wear off at the end.
Yeah.
Or I didn't want it to wear off to the point where I felt everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I was afraid that if I went ahead and got the epidural at 4 centimeters, we got to get to 10.
Yeah.
I was afraid that I wasn't going to feel everything at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So I went ahead and got phentermine, and it lasted for like 2 hours.
Is it fentanyl?
Fentanyl, maybe that. Yeah, there you go. I wrote it down, but I'm not reading it. I'm just going off the top of my head. Fentanyl, yeah.
I think.
Fentanyl, yeah, that's what it is. It's on the paper, yeah. So after they gave me 2 doses of fentanyl, it lasts. So I like went with like first dose was like it lasted for 2 hours and I was good for 2 hours. And then I got another dose and it lasted for 2 more hours. I was progressing really slow because they had the Pitocin jacked up really high and they had to drop it down really low because she was reacting negatively to it.
Oh, yeah.
So they had to drop it down really low, and my body apparently was acting negatively to it too because they had to give me oxygen.
Yeah. After the Pitocin, can you still walk around?
Yeah, after the Pitocin, you can still walk around, and after the fentanyl, you can still walk around too, but after the epidural, you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, at that point, like after I was like 3 centimeters, I think, my mom and my dad arrived, and the relationship with me and my mom is like, I love my mom. I do. She gets on my nerves. And she has her anxiety gives me anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew that the people that I wanted in the room when I was like the action was happening was I only wanted Yender there. Like that's the only person I wanted because he was the only one that was there when it happened, when she was created, and that was the only one I wanted to she
Are you sure? Not a third person was there?
No.
Well, I've heard some conversations, so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have them. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah. The conversations happen, but
The
that's
conversation, right. So finally I got the epidural and I was at 4 centimeters. But I didn't finish with my mom. Yeah, she gave me anxiety. And I knew that I wanted the environment to be like very calm for the birth. I didn't want to like be stressed out and I didn't want negative energies. Not that my mom carries negative energies, but I just didn't want any negative energies around me and I just wanted everything to be calm.
You didn't want to be nervous and your mom was nervous.
Yeah, I didn't want to be nervous. Yeah. And when she got there, she made me nervous. I don't know what it is about her other than her anxiety that just makes me nervous. But
also,
anyway.
I mean, knowing that your mom's going to worry about you during that time where your body's like being traumatized.
Yeah, and she did good because she had her little she had a blanket she was knitting for Taleah and she finished it before Taleah was born.
So,
Oh.
Yeah, that was cool. She was like, I'm going to get finished with it before she's born. And she did.
That's cute. That's so cute.
So that kept her busy, and I think it kept her anxiety down too.
Yeah.
I just straight up told her, I was like, I don't want you in the room.
Okay.
And she was like, okay.
Yeah.
She didn't ask me why. She didn't ask me why I didn't want her there. But I did explain to her, I was like, I feel like the only person I want there is Yender because he was there. Do not put that in your mouth. He was there for the creation of Taleah, so he should be there for the birth of Taleah, and that's it. That's how I felt like. I felt like it was more like, although there are a whole bunch of like medical staff there, it was like an intimate type situation.
Yeah.
Even though Yender would claim it's definitely not intimate. We'll get to that later. So they got there, everything was good with them. My grandma and my aunt and Heather got there like later in the evening around 6 or 7. They went to get dinner. They got dinner for Yender. So they gave me the epidural, and while Yender was holding me, this is like, I like this story because it's crazy. So apparently, while they were giving me the epidural, we could hear in the next room over, and these rooms are really big, but they're not like super padded or whatever, but you can't really hear people unless like they're screaming bloody murder, which the woman across from me apparently was, because she was screaming for an epidural while I was getting my epidural, and so pretty much she had waited too late. And then come to find out, my mom and dad saw her in the waiting room and she was leaning over in her chair, rocking back and forth, sweating and screaming. I was like, no, honey, you were done. You were ready
No.
for that baby to come out. There was no epidural for you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Give
so
me
that was like
this.
before she was even checked in?
Yeah, that was before she was in check
Oh
in.
God. Yeah. Ooh. I
So
mean,
there
those
was no epidural
contractions
for
are
her.
so painful.
They are. They are.
Oh God.
Reason 542 why I don't want kids.
They are painful.
I mean, honestly, like, I can't remember the pain, but I know it was
Me.
painful.
Yeah, same here. Like I don't remember
Yeah.
the pain, but I know it was painful.
Yeah.
I've seen the pain happen to someone else, and I'm traumatized for life.
Yeah. That's terrible.
Unless the condom breaks.
All right. So, but Yender freaked out about the epidural more than I did because the needle was so big. He squoze my hand
Oh, he
harder
saw
than
the
I
needle?
squoze his.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because like he was
Okay.
helping me like
Yeah.
lean forward, and he could see
Yeah.
the needle, but I couldn't see the needle.
Wow.
And he
Yeah.
was like, "It doesn't hurt," and I'm like, "No, it doesn't hurt."
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they numb
I
you.
know. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure it did hurt, but
Uh,
I didn't feel it. I only felt a pinch and like then a tingle down my left s-
mhm.
um, left side, I think.
Mm.
Left or right, I
Mhm.
can't remember. But then I was laying on one side, and I had been laying on that one side, on my right side. I've been laying on my right side for a while, and it's like at least an hour. And I was like, I'm tired of laying on this one side. And I'd had the epidural,
Mhm.
so I couldn't move by myself. So
Yeah.
I asked my nurse, I was like, can I roll over to the other side? And she was like, absolutely. As soon as I like started, we rolled me over and we got me rolled over, Talia's heart dropped. Like they couldn't find her
Yeah.
pulse, and we were freaking out. And the nurses came in and they started shaking me and like pushing on her to like, I guess, like find her heartbeat or whatever. And come to find
Mhm.
out, they like apparently lost her heartbeat through the cord because they had attached one to the top of her head for the pulse,
Oh.
with a monitor through my cervix.
Oh.
So they attached a cord to her, and apparently because they had to put fluid back in the placenta because she was
Mhm.
losing oxygen. Anyway, they had us freaking out because we couldn't find her heartbeat, but
Yeah.
it had come the cord had come detached from her head, so they had to redo it.
Mhm.
And then after that, they did adjust me every hour because they were like, we can't leave her in one position forever. So they would have me, instead of
Yeah.
rolling me all the way from one side to the other side, they would roll me straight forward, like, and I would be sitting in the queen's position is what they called it. The queen's position where
Nice.
like your legs are down and then you're sitting up straight in a throne.
Nice.
And then they would roll me over to the right. Anyway, so all that process happened for a while, and I was like, the woman was like, when you start feeling pressure on your cervix, that means it's time to push. And I was like, okay, well, I'm feeling pressure. I was feeling pressure finally around I don't know what time it was, but finally we started pushing. And at 1:43 p.m. Taleah popped out all the way.
Oh. The
And
next day, right?
yeah, the
So
next day,
yeah.
so the 13th. So everything happened on the 12th, but on the 13th, she popped out at 1:43 a.m. Made her debut, and then they plopped her on my chest, and I
Oh.
was like, "What do I do?"
Wait, how
Like,
long did you push for?
I pushed for about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I pushed for about 20 minutes, and Yender said I shed my life away the entire time, and that the
Bless you,
midwife
Taleah.
was
So funny.
asking constantly for new towels, clean towels, because she was wiping and going like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I didn't know.
Okay. Would you have known that you like chat yourself if Yender hadn't told you just by looking at the nurse's face?
No. Mm-mm.
Yeah. They don't
That's
react. They're
awesome.
so great about it.
I know, and it
Yeah.
was beautiful because I had no idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I have farted several times through the contractions because like it happens.
Yeah, because you're pushing.
Like,
They tell you to push like you're pooping.
yeah. And so like when I started first pushing, she was like, all right, you're going to hold your breath like you're going underwater and then you're going to push. And so whenever I go underwater, I hold my breath and then I let a little bit out slowly, right? So that's what I was doing while I was pushing. She's like, no, you're going to hold your breath. Like you're not letting it out. So like you're holding your breath like you're going underwater, but you're not going to let it out. So and then she was like, you're going to push where my finger is pushing. And I was like, I don't feel your finger.
Yeah.
And then finally, but anyway, it took about 20 minutes, but finally she came out. She did have a cone head. But she was a cute little cone head. Go ahead.
What about tears?
I had just a little labial tear, and she gave me 2 stitches, and that was it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So 1st degree, I guess.
Yeah. And she I didn't have to take any like major pain pills. The only pain medicine I took was Tylenol and ibuprofen. So it was like very, very small. She told me, she was like, I could probably put 1 stitch in this, but I'm going to put 2 just in case. And I was like, okay. The weirdest part was feeling the placenta coming out.
Did you feel pressure or like somebody was pulling your
she was
organs
pulling
out?
the cord. Like she was pulling the cord and I was like, wait, is something coming out? Like, are you pulling on something? And she was like, yeah, that's the placenta. And then I felt like once the sac got to the area, she like tugged a little bit and it popped out. And I was like, she even told me, she was like, push a little bit. And so I pushed a little bit and it popped out. And I was like, that's so weird. Like everything else was like, it felt natural. But the one thing that didn't feel natural was the placenta popping out. It was so weird.
Did it feel like it was taken out of tampon?
No.
No.
But it felt like, oh my God. So I was like miserable the whole pregnancy, right? Like not miserable, but like really uncomfortable. But but as soon as Taleah popped out, like it was a relief. Like I felt like I had my body back.
Yeah.
Like it was so relieving. And it was like, finally, it was like, you know, when you have a dirty sock on and you like, finally, I got the sock off.
A wet sock?
No,
a wet, dirty sock. Like, finally.
Oh, that's terrible. That's
finally.
Gross. That's a gross
feeling.
feeling.
A gross feeling. Like, finally, it's off.
Oh, God. This analogy.
Like, I'm sure it's a horrible analogy, but like that's what I can think of right now.
Yeah. So they put her on your chest and
yeah, they put her on my chest and they left her there for like an hour, and that feeling was like so sweet. It was so sweet.
She cried?
She cried for a little bit, but then I started like saying, you're okay, everything's fine.
Yeah.
And then she calmed down and she was good.
Yeah.
And then like I wanted Yender to do like skin to skin also, but he was like, no, this is your time, like you do the skin to skin. And I was like, well, she started rooting and I was like, should I try to breastfeed? And I was like, I don't know how to breastfeed, like I don't know what to do. And I was like, I don't know how to hold her, like
looking for it.
Looking for the boob. So then a nurse came in to clean her. And they took her away, cleaned her, not took her away, but like took her to the other side of the room to clean her, like so I could see everything. And then they stitched me up and all that. And the other nurse came up. Our nurse carried her over like a football, like just like was slinging her around. And I was like, whoa. And then I told the nurse, I was like, so how am I supposed to hold her? How am I supposed to do this? Like, how am I supposed to feed her? And she was like, well, go like she showed me how to like get her to latch and how to get my colostrum moving if it wasn't moving for her, to like start it out and like let her smell it so that that way she would like latch onto it and know what it was or whatever. Whenever we got to the room at 4 a.m., the nurse, my recovery nurse, was telling me everything under the sun about recovery and childcare and care for me. telling me a whole bunch of forms that I need to fill out. And I was just like, first of all, I'm not listening. Second of all, I want to sleep. And third of all, my family wants to come in and see my kid. And that's it. After that, like, I didn't really, like, for the 3 days that we were there, I felt like I didn't really establish a routine with Taleah until, like, we got home. And then figured out that breastfeeding wasn't going to work for me eventually. Like, I tried it until, like, I couldn't try it anymore. And now that she's older and her teeth are starting to develop, I think I noticed that, like, her, like, whatever this is called, like, the little flap between your tongue, like, your teeth.
Oh, does she have a tongue tie or a lip tie?
Yeah, I think so. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's really tight. Like, I can see
Yeah.
it's, like, really tight. But now I know I'll just have to pay attention to that if I ever have a kid again, which I don't think I will.
Yeah. I wish they would check for that. I wish, like, the nurses were trained to check for that, you know?
Me too.
Because it's a big, like, with breastfeeding, it's a big thing.
But whatever, she's gotten nutrition the way she needed to get nutrition, whatever. But I really think that, like, Andy said the nurses should be able to detect that, or like to say something about that at the hospital
or the
if they
pediatrician
notice
too.
it. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Or the pediatrician. But, like, I've read a lot of things that pediatricians won't say anything because I feel like, honestly, it's a lot to do with Big Pharma. Because they're just wanting to sell formula.
Yeah.
How did you find out?
Just reading more, doing more research, and, like, just, like, looking around. Like, things pop up whenever I, like, read about stuff, and I'm following this woman on Instagram that she just had a new baby, and he had one, and it was really tight. And then Taleah's teeth are growing now, and I noticed that when she smiles, it's really tight.
Now I'm wondering, do you grow out of it or does it stay there?
I don't know, because I can feel mine, and it feels really tight. Like, I can't pull my upper lip back that far. And I also had a problem with breastfeeding as a baby. Like, my mom said I would not latch.
Oh, I remember what I was gonna say. Yeah, I've read that, like, apparently some pediatricians just think of it as, like, tongue tie or lip ties as it being like a fad, you know, that people are like, oh, like, they have a tongue tie, so let's get it fixed. Where if you talk to maybe a lactation consultant, they'll tell you, like, no, it's actually really important. So there's kind of like two different opinions of like if you should fix it or not.
And I talked to a lactation consultant at the hospital, and Taleah was sleeping when she was there. Both times she was there, she was sleeping. So she never got to see her latch.
Yeah, see, why don't they check? They just need to check.
Yeah.
It just needs to be like a routine where they check.
Yeah, and I was like, you can try. She was like, you want to try to feed her? And I was like, yeah, come on, let's try.
While she was sleeping.
Exactly. But whatever. It is what it is. She's fine. She'll be off of formula soon in 3 months.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Don't cry. You got this.
All right. So we just want to wrap it up here.
Okay. So what would you say to somebody who's like about to give birth?
So funny thing, Yenner's, well, she's kind of my cousin too, since she's married to Yenner's family, but she just gave birth to a baby boy on Easter, actually. So I gave her the advice of just to relax. I just told her, I was like, just relax. Everything is going to be fine. Just breathe into everything. The nurses and the doctors know exactly what to do. Just listen to them. Everything's going to be fine. If you start freaking out, it's going to be bad. So just relax.
Yeah.
And, like, I think that's how I approached it anyway, because I was, you know, like, everybody does research or they read a lot of stuff, and as long as you relax, it'll all be fine. And I think, honestly, that's my motto in life, is relax and it'll be okay.
Yeah.
It's not a bad motto.
Yeah. It's fine. Because, like, sometimes people get worked up, like Yender. He gets worked up a lot. I'm just like, chill, bro.
Take a chill pill.
Chill. I have to say that to myself sometimes. Just calm down. Chill. Stop being so dramatic.
Stop being a Scorpio.
Right. I have to tell myself that a lot. Like, you're overreacting. Calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
Another thing I would like to say is that if you're worried about shitting yourself, don't.
Yeah.
Because you will. And if you don't shit yourself, you're one of the few lucky ones. Like, very few lucky ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
go ahead.
What would you say about the recovery process? Like,
everybody's different. But it will happen, and like it takes a lot. Like, okay, so the physical recovery is completely different than the emotional recovery.
Yeah.
Like, the physical recovery for me was super quick. Like, I think I was good in 2 months or a month, and actually the month I was like off of my meds. Like, after the month I was off of the meds, and then I only bled for like, I want to say 8 weeks. So I only bled for a short period of time. But the thing that helped me the most was the ice packs that they give you. I would use one of those every night. Like, every night. And I asked for extras of everything. So, like, I asked for extra of the underwear, the disposable underwear. I asked for extra pads. I asked for extra ice pads. I had so much extra that I asked for from the hospital that I gave some to my cousin.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So ask for extra, and you don't need to go buy none on Amazon. I see people like on YouTube saying you need to buy a pack of Depends, you need to buy like Tux pads, like Tux, like
the healing pads.
The healing pads. You need to buy like hemorrhoid cream, you need to buy all these extra fancy things, and I'm just like, no. And I honestly did buy a lot of things that I didn't end up using. So it was kind of like I wasted my money on this. But I do recommend making sure you get yourself at least 5 comfy pants and 5 comfy shirts and a lot of scrunchies. Have somebody help you meal prep beforehand.
Yeah.
Before you bring that baby home, and drink lots of water.
Yeah. And celebrate your baby.
And just remember that all is temporary and it will be better soon. Yeah. Question?
I just heard your accent come. I'm still just stuck on the fact that your accent got real heavy when you got real.
The Bianca comes out. Anyway, so that was my birth story. That was my story of becoming a mother.
Beautiful.
And really, I feel like the moment I became a mother was the moment she was put on my chest, to be honest with you. Like, I was a new person at that moment.
Oh. What would you, seeing as this is your birth story, this is Taleah's birth story, what would you like her to know? Like, if you could leave her a message.
Oh my God. Don't make me cry.
Or not. I mean, it's fine.
I'm not going to do that because it's going to make me cry. No, I write her little notes, and I'm going to give them to her when she's old enough.
Aww.
Like, I wrote down her birth story, and I wrote down, like, before she was born, I wrote down things that I wished for her, like wishes. And come to find out, there were 13 of them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I looked at it. I was like, wait, there were 13 of these.
That's
Oh my
great.
god.
Yes.
So sweet.
That was cool. And I'm planning on writing. I wrote her something for her 6 months. Like she was 6 months. And I'm gonna write her one for her first birthday and every birthday until she's like, I don't know, maybe 25, 18. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so sweet.
Yeah. I thought about like opening an email account for her and just sending them to her. But then I was like, nah.
Yeah.
More personal, like with my handwriting. Which
Yeah.
it's funny because I have like little parentheses that I put in there. I'm like, this pen sucks.
When she lists that, she'd be like, "Oh God, mom."
Right.
This is so mom.
Yeah.
That's so cute. I like that idea.
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
a good idea.
Thank you.
My friend had something like that on her first birthday. She had all of us write her a little note for her 16th birthday.
Oh, that's sweet.
Aw.
Well, we might be having her birthday on Zoom.
You can do a little parade of
She
cars
won't
for her.
remember that.
Yeah.
But you will.
Yeah, I know.
You know how many moms I've seen like heartfelt for that? Like once it's happening, I feel like it would bring you that feel good moment.
Yeah.
But she ain't gonna remember her first birthday no matter what.
I know.
Yeah, the first
It's
birthday's
more
more
for
for
you.
you.
The first birthday is definitely for me, and it's definitely mermaid themed. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
All right, so that was Taleah's birth story. I hope you enjoyed it. If you guys want to watch the video of the birth story, you can find us on YouTube at Gorditas Sassy.
Not actually Anita giving birth, but
Yeah, the
of this
story.
conversation.
Giving birth.
Or you can follow us
On Instagram at
Gorditas.
Gorditas_sassy and unqualified.
There you go.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
If you're listening to us, you're probably listening to us on Spotify, but you can also listen on Google Play, right? Google Podcast, right?
Everything but Apple.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for listening to my story. I hope you enjoyed it. And next we get Andy's story. Isla's story. I'm so excited for Isla's story.
Okay.
I'm excited for this story because I haven't heard it. And I think,
Oh, really?
Steph, you've heard my story or Taleah's story, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I've
haven't
heard
heard your
both.
story, Andy.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. I hope I didn't miss anything. We're going to do
Okay.
it.
Yes. 3, 2, 1.
Puta vida.
Puta vida.
Okay, yes, me and Steph are on, but Andy, you were totally off.